San Felice del Benaco is located in the province of Brescia in Lombardy and stands on a morainic promontory that juts out towards Lake Garda, between the Gulf of Salo and the Gulf of Manerba. Until the 15th century, the documented name was Scovolo, from Scopulus, meaning rock. It has been inhabited since distant times, as can be seen from the remains of ancient houses and pilings found on the Isola del Garda, found in 1864. The area of San Felice del Benaco was controlled by the Romans. The bike tour dedicated to the history, art and culture of the area starts from the historic centre of San Felice. The remains of the ancient Scaligero castle, built in 1330, are preserved in the historic centre of the medieval village, and you can still see the towers in the cemetery. The old church of Saints Fermo and Nabore, Felix and Nabor, which houses valuable 16th century frescoes, also stands in the cemetery. The parish church of San Felice is dedicated to the patron saints San Felice, Felix, San Adauto and Santa Flavia, whose relics are now kept inside the high altar, above which rises the 16th century Romanino altarpiece. The Baroque church is located right in the centre of the village and houses valuable works of art. The construction works were supervised by Domenico Corbellini and were completed in 1781 when the building was consecrated. The former Monte di Pieta building stands in the main square, an elegant Venetian-type structure with a 5-arched portico with square pillars of ashlar stones, completed in 1670. It used to house the government of the municipality. The Palazzo Rotingo, built in the 18th century and now used as the town hall, is worth visiting. On a gentle hillock stands the ancient Santuario della Madonna del Carmine, Sanctuary of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, an imposing 15th century building beautifully frescoed inside. The old church was rebuilt in 1460 and run by the Carmelite friars. The valuable cycle of frescoes in the nave and presbytery was also created in 1470. The church was consecrated in 1482. The castle in the hamlet of Portese was built in the early Middle Ages as a defensive refuge from the raids by various armies. Only a stump of a circular tower now remains of it. In the 1656 land registry of the magnificent community of the Riviera, the structure is described as walled, concave and sturdy. The church dedicated to the birth of San Giovanni Battista, St. John the Baptist, in Portese, was rebuilt in 1585. In the apse there is a beautiful 17th century canvas painted by Grazio Casali, which depicts the birth of the saint. It houses other valuable works of art inside. On the promontory of San Fermo in Portese, opposite the Isola del Garda, stands the church of San Fermo, which was built in the 15th century on the remains of a large Roman villa. The church is located near the ruins of the ancient castle of Scovolo, built in the 10th century and destroyed in 1279. The Isola del Garda is the largest of the Benaco Islands, located off the promontory of San Fermo. The area has been inhabited since distant times, as evidenced by the remains of ancient houses and pilings found on the island. Today, the Isola del Garda is better known as Isola Borghese, and belongs to the heirs of the Roman nobles, the Cavazza family. The church of San Giovanni Battista Decollato, the beheaded John the Baptist, in Cesano, was built in the 15th century. The feast of the saint occurs every 5 years and is celebrated with a procession through the streets of the village. The small church of Cesano is owned by the Knights of Malta. The illustrious Cominelli family had the mansion built towards the middle of the 17th century. in the delightful historic centre of Cesano village. The elegant building was restored thanks to the goodwill of Raffaele Cominelli, a great philanthropist who ensured that the foundation named after him was established after his death. We now invite you to discover the enchanting area on the Brescia side of Lake Garda.